It was Richard Engel in eastern Ukraine. Now let's head back to D.C. To boycott or not to boycott? That's the dilemma House Dems confronted today with regard to a new committee established last night. And the latest, greatest, most politicized investigation of the attack in Benghazi. And it is gaining steam. Their decision? Seems like it's to punt. Minority Leader Nancy Pelosi says she still hasn't decided if Democrats are going to sit on that committee because she's waiting for further talks with House Speaker John Boehner.
Now, where we are on that is the Speaker called me the other day, said, I'm very serious about this. I want this to be no circus, all that. And he said, so we should sit down and come to terms on it. Fine, I said, I can be there in a minute. And so when we sit down, we'll see what that is. And then we'll make a decision as to how we proceed with that.
And just moments ago, the White House weighed in on MSNBC.
Should Democrats cooperate with the Select Committee? Should they be a part of it?
We leave it to Leader Pelosi and other Democrats in the House to make decisions about how they will participate or not participate. But I think the nature of this and the political nature of this investigation has been pretty clear, just hearing Republicans talk about it in the last several days.
Republicans, meanwhile, are raring to go. They have just announced who will be representing them on that committee, according to the New York Times editorial board this morning. These were quite the coveted seats. You see those names there. The Times said this was the hottest competition in Washington this week among House Republicans vying for a seat on that Benghazi kangaroo court, also known as the Select House Committee, to inflate a tragedy into a scandal. For what it's worth, Republicans do continue to insist that this whole exercise is not a witch hunt. Well, sort of.
This administration has gone out of their way. They've lawyered up to make sure that they could, I think, mislead Congress. And then they would try and explain themselves in such a way that they would blame our insistence upon getting the truth as a political witch hunt. Well, Mr. Speaker, that must mean that there's a witch somewhere.
Really? Because I'm pretty sure the term witch hunt means literally the opposite of what you think it means. And that pesky little issue of whether or not it's appropriate for the GOP to raise money off of the committee? What do you think, Mitt Romney?
Do you think it's wrong to be fundraising off that issue?
I think what the Republicans have every right to say, and is appropriate to say, is that if Republicans were not in the Congress, if Republicans did not have a majority in the Congress, there would not be an investigation. And so to say, look, elect Republicans so that we can have these kinds of investigations is appropriate.
To be fair, everyone crassly fundraising off of everything isn't really either a new or a uniquely Republican phenomenon.